Nuclear negotiations between Iran and six world powers are set to resume Sunday. In Switzerland, the clock is ticking as the March 31st deadline for a framework agreement draws near. But with just weeks to go, a group of opposition politicians in Washington is trying to scuttle the deal. The White House isn't happy about it. CCTV's Jessica Stone is on top of the story for us. She joins us live from our newsroom with more. Jessica.
Well, Mike, U.S. President Barack Obama said over the weekend that negotiators are narrowing the gaps to reach a final nuclear deal with Iran. Then Monday, he woke up to a letter signed by 47 Republicans in the U.S. Senate, warning Iran that without congressional approval, any nuclear deal would only last as long as Obama remains in office.
It is an unprecedented letter sent at a critical time in highly charged diplomatic negotiations that have the potential to make history.
It's an unusual coalition.
And while U.S. President Barack Obama made clear Monday he views the move as purely political, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden says it's downright dangerous, releasing this scathing statement which reads in part, quote, "This letter sends a highly misleading signal to friend and foe alike that our commander-in-chief cannot deliver on America's commitments, a message that is as false as it is dangerous." The letter's chief author, Republican Senator Tom Cotton, says there will be no deal without congressional approval.
This letter is about stopping Iran from getting a nuclear deal. Iran's leaders need to understand that under our Constitution, Congress plays a critical role in approving international agreements. If Congress does not approve an agreement, the agreement will not necessarily have lasting effect.
But in 2013, the U.S.-Russia deal to remove Syria's chemical weapons did not need congressional authorization. Neither have other major U.S. foreign policy shifts, such as normalizing relations with China back in 1979. Iran's foreign minister says the letter raises questions about trusting the Americans, but also says Iranians shouldn't take it seriously.
It is a propaganda ploy and has no legal value. It shows how concerned one group is. While there is still no agreement, this group is commenting on its nature.
But Mike, Senate Republicans really aren't the only ones talking about the content of a potential deal, as Minister Zarif alluded to. As the deadline draws closer, we're also hearing more details from the White House. The U.S. president has said world powers want to leave Iran with a year breakout time to a nuclear bomb without promising substantial sanctions relief until there's evidence of compliance. And we know that Iran wants to keep its ability to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes and a speedy lifting of sanctions.
Jessica, the letter itself also raises the question of whether a future U.S. president could renege on a potential Iran nuclear deal. What are the chances that could actually happen?
Well, it is technically possible, but it's also unlikely. Remember, this is not simply a negotiation just between two parties, between the U.S. and Iran. It's actually between 7 parties: Iran, China, Russia, Germany, France, the UK, and the United States. That puts really more pressure on all of these 6 global powers to keep their end of the bargain, as long as Iran holds up its end.
All right, Jessica Stone in our newsroom.